This next example is a very, very typical example. This is a bread and butter, straightforward. This is how most of my interactions go online. Okay, most of the times I get a number, it's straightforward like this. It's a question of, I don't really get resistance, but I do have to still go through a sequence of messages. I can't go straight to, hey, we like each other, let's have sex. Hey, we like each other, let's meet up. You do have to follow the process. But in this case, I got no shit test, I just got straightforward positivity, and I was able to escalate slowly. But notice that even though I got positivity, I still took my time. And I also did another thing in this messaging sequence, which is what I call offering value, okay? So even as I'm moving things forward, even as I'm saying, let's get a drink, I'm not just saying, let's get a drink, I'm saying it in a more interesting way that conveys more of my personality and more of the unique things about me. So even when I'm pushing forward, I'm always trying to keep it, like I call it adding my wrinkles, adding a little bit of something interesting to the conversation and offering my own personality at all times, okay? And well, interestingly enough, a lot of these messages I've used before, so I'm offering my personality in a way that's almost copy and paste, which I'll explain to you as I go, but it is still conveying my personality because it's still something that I came up with genuinely from me and I liked at the time, okay? So again, this is a very straightforward interaction, but one that you can learn a lot from because most of the time, the numbers you get will come from straightforward interactions like this. So while like the whole flying backflip shit test passing is fun to watch, and I like to teach you that because it will teach you a lot about the communication style, and if you can do that, you can do anything. And a lot of times the hottest girls will do that. Understand that a lot of the success that you're going to get is going to come from bread and butter interactions like this, where it's just very straightforward and it's about just putting it through the process slowly without being too needy or too desperate. Okay? So without further ado, let's get into this one. My first message in this one was, I would like to snuggle your brains out, which is just a very interesting, it's kind of a forward, kind of like sexy message in a way. It's a little risky, right? You could get like a very like, fuck you, I hate you, why are you being rude, why are you so sexual? Or you could get like, that sounds fun, or I appreciate your sense of adventure, or haha, that's funny, that sort of thing. The other one you'll sometimes get on this is you'll get like, I'd like to keep my brains, thank you very much. It's just like a clever answer that you'll get. However, in this case, she responded positively, which happens probably about like 25 to 30% of the responses you'll get will be extremely overtly positive, and you'll just have an easy road from there. So her response was, ha, you got my attention, I'm open to the possibility. Pretty strong, right? Pretty strong response. I put out a pretty strong text, I got a pretty strong response. So I should assume that things are very on. When I get something that positive, I need to be closing. But again, I need to be going for the soft close, not the hard close. So I don't say, cool, let's get together and fuck. I don't say, hey, let's get together Tuesday at 7 o'clock for a drink at this place, which is so specific and so obligating. Instead, I'll say something more general, and again, I'll add my wrinkles, add my value, instead of just going straight for, would you like to grab a drink, would you like to grab dinner, would you like to whatever, okay? So here's what I wrote. Sounds good. Shall we try a quick drink garnished with witty banter sometime soon? So again, quick drink garnished with witty banter is more interesting than just drink. So I'm still offering my personality, I'm still offering value, I'm making it interesting enough that she wants to respond. This is important for a few reasons. Number one, we've only had one message back and forth. So as much as she thinks she likes me, there's not a lot of history, not a lot of social capital there. Number two, and this is interesting, if she happened to just read through this, and if she just glanced at the message without looking back at my profile, even if she really liked me and wanted to get a drink with me, she might look at the message independent of my profile, not click on it if it's not interesting enough, and not realize it's from the guy that she liked before. So even though she already liked me, even though I think I'm already in, I still want to add enough that if she looked at this message in a vacuum, she'd still want to message me back, okay? So I want to add that wrinkle and add that little bit of inventiveness. And then I say sometime soon as a vague generalization, so she can say yes to it and she's not obligated. Once she does say yes, now I can start making more solid plans, right? So what I want to do is this sort of yes ladder, get yeses to small things, and then once I have those yeses, I'll go for bigger and bigger things. But don't try and go straight to the top of the ladder. Be willing to go rung by rung. Understand that if you crawl up 6 rungs quickly, that's faster than going for the top rung and missing and having to like start all over again, okay? So it's more important to be progressing gradually than it is to go straight for everything. So in any case, her response to this was, sure, a coffee would be great too. So basically she's saying yes to plans. Now she said coffee versus drinks, whatever. It's a minor consideration, but she seems very down to hang out. So now she basically said yes. So if she said yes to the first rung of the ladder, now I'll go to the next rung and close it a little more solidly. So my response was, sounds good. My number is da-da-da-da-da. Give her my number. What's yours? Todd. And again, important that I give her my name as well so that when I message her later, she'll have my number in her phone, or my name associated with my number, and she'll know who it is when I respond and when I actually message her. So that's important as well. And again, remember I mentioned giving my number and saying what's yours instead of saying what's your number. It gets a higher response rate because again, you've given a little bit while you're asking instead of just asking in a vacuum. So little details, again, offering just a little more than the typical what's your number. But basically just getting to the point very quickly. And again, this is a message that's very standard. I've sent this probably exact same message many, many times. And her answer then very simply was, hey, my number is, and then her number, right? So this is extremely straightforward interaction. But what you have to ask yourself is, why was it straightforward? Was it straightforward because the girl was just super down? Well, she did like me to begin with, that helped, but that's not all. It's straightforward because I didn't make social errors. It's straightforward because instead of going straight for the jugular, I was willing to get there in 2 to 3 messages, and every step of the way, I wasn't boring. Instead of just being boring and bland as I escalated while offering a little bit of value each step of the way. So yes, this looks easy on paper. Yes, it's bread and butter, and most of your interactions should be like this, but understand that the thing that made it bread and butter, the thing that made it straightforward, was that I did the right thing each step of the way, okay? So dot your I's and cross your T's. You'll get a lot of interactions just like this and a lot of very quick, easy phone numbers.